Hey there, math students. So if you remember yesterday, we were talking about how if you have a triangle and you rip off the corners of that triangle and you line up the points, in other words, the angles, the three angles in the triangle, come together to form a perfectly straight line. And how many degrees are in a straight line? 180 degrees. That's your triangle sum theorem. And our I can statement for today is I can use the angle sum theorem. It's called both the triangle sum theorem or the angle sum theorem, either way. I can use that to find the missing angle. Before we go any farther in this, I just want to make sure you know, if you happen to have this notes page, we are not doing this page. It's not linked in today's assignment, but you might have gotten it somewhere else. So if you have this, you can toss it aside. So going back to this page, this is your worksheet for today, and we are going to look at it together, solve some of these problems, and just make sure that you are comfortable using that angle sum theorem all by yourselves. So the instructions say find the measure of the missing angle. And let's do that. So remember, if you took this angle, and this angle, and you lined them all up together, they would form a perfectly straight line. In other words, they would all add up to 180 degrees. So whatever their measurements are, we're going to set them equal to 180 degrees, like when you add them all up. So let's do that. Let's add them all up and set them equal to 180. We've got 35 plus 85 plus, oh, whoops, well, we don't know what that guy is. So let's just use a variable to show that we don't know what it is. If you'd rather use a question mark, you can do that too, because there's a question mark there. I don't mind which way you do it. You're going to get the same answer either way. Once you have this, let's combine our like terms. I'm going to grab my calculator. So 35 plus 85, those are both constants, and we can combine those by adding, and you get 120. So that's going to be the same as 120 plus x, and bring down a 180. And now to solve this equation, let's just subtract that 120 from both sides, and you are going to be left with x equals 60, I believe, just to be sure, because I'm talking and mathing at the same time. Yes, my calculator says 60 also. So x is equal to 60. What does that mean? That means that this angle right here is in fact 60 degrees. So if you want to go back and double check, put all three of these in your calculator. Let's do that. 35 plus 60 plus 85, and we should get 180. We do, so yay, we got it right, and we can go on to the next problem. Let's look at number 3 together. So we have our unknown angle here, and we have 73 here, and we have 68 there. And again, you know that if you were to rip off all three of those angles and put them together, they're going to form that straight line, in other words, 180 degrees. So let's just add them up and set them equal to 180. So I'm writing 73 plus 68 plus the question mark. This time I'll use a question mark, but feel free to use an X if you want, or a Y, or whatever you're feeling. And then put it equal to 180. Let's combine our like terms. 73 plus 68 is going to give us 141. Plus that question mark equals 180. Now let's get rid of the 141 by subtracting it from both sides. And our question mark is going to equal 39. So this angle right here will measure 39 degrees. All right, and all of these are going to work the same way. I don't think there's any curveballs in here. Let me just go ahead and tell you, I want you to do 1 through 10. The rest of these are something that we haven't learned, and we're really not going to learn. It's not a major skill that we need to cover. So go through number 10, that's the important stuff. If you feel comfortable with it right now, you can stop watching. If you want to see a couple more examples, then keep watching, and I will show you numbers 5 and number 7. All right, so number 5, we've got an angle here, that's 35. This one's 55, and this one, that's our unknown. We're not sure what it is. So let's add these three together. 35 plus 55 plus our unknown, I'll call it x this time. And we know from our angle sum theorem that the three angles will always add up to be 180 degrees, so I'm just going to put 180 over here. And then I have to solve my equation. Let's combine 35 and 55. We're going to get 90 there. 90 plus x equals 180. And then to finally solve for x, just get rid of that 90 by subtracting it, because you want to get this x by itself, right? So subtract the 90 from both sides, and you're going to be left with x equals 90. Well, who knew? It's a right angle. I guess it does look like a right angle. So 90 degrees for that. And again, if you wanted to double check your work, you just grab your calculator and you add them all up. 90 plus 55 plus 35, and it really should give you 180. Okay, let's do one more together. Number 7. If you want to pause the video and try it by yourself and see what you come up with, that would be an awesome plan. We have these 3 angles. We know that they're going to add up to 180, so let's do that. 47 plus 81 plus the unknown, this time I'm going to call it n, how about that one, equals 180. All right, 47 plus 81, let's see what that's going to give us. It looks like we have 128 there. Still plus n and bring down that equals 180. And now we got to get that n by itself. So let's get rid of that 128 by subtracting it. And we're going to subtract it on both sides. Okay, so that goes to 0, and you're left with n equals, what is that, 52? Let's just make sure. N equals 52. And you're done. So you've got 10 of these problems. We've already worked 4 of them together. I'll let you get started on the rest. If you have any questions at all, let me know. Bye.